Hello, my name is Alexandra Nau, and today I'm going to be speaking about how I am incorporating some of Teach Like a Gamer's best practices into my high school English classroom. So this is actually a slide that I show my students each year when I start a new school year, because I really think that it's important that they know me as a person in addition to knowing me as their teacher. So I like to tell them where I'm from, things I like to do outside of school, how long I've been an educator, and this year was especially important because it is my first year teaching in our engineering academy at my school. I think it's also important for my students to have known that I am going through a learning process and trying something new. And so I really liked this quote as sort of my quote of the year. My education background, I also tell them a little bit about, including the fact that I am currently a learner and pursuing my master's degree with the Learning Design and Technology major. So this is actually something that has really stood out to me this year, which is the topic and universal idea of identity. And this very well correlates to best practice number 1 from Teach Like a Gamer, which is that learners should be given the opportunity to experiment with identity. And this is particularly relevant to my students in my English 3 classroom because our first unit this year was all about embracing identity. We read excerpts from the Latin diaspora anthology entitled Wild Tongues Can't Be Tamed, in which we examined multiple different forms of people's experiences, both positively and negatively, with their identity and how society affected them as a whole. One of our first assignments for students to get to know one another was to complete this What's in Your Head activity, where they displayed different forms of their own identity. Another thing that I think is really prevalent inside a classroom and really showcases proof of learning is that mistakes can be made. And so I really want to encourage inside my classroom best practice number 11, which is that you provide chances for revision when mistakes do happen and provide the ability for students to redo certain tasks without any penalty. So in my AP seminar classroom, we have an Aspire policy, which allows students to earn extra credit if they've turned in a late assignment or have a missing assignment. And so this is something that we introduced to students at the beginning of the year. And those extra credit assignments could be coming to work after school or submitting a learning journey reflection or listening to a podcast and doing a reflection. There's multiple different ways to earn that Aspire credit. At my entire school, we also have a reassessment policy as well, which allows students to redo a performance or summative task like an exam or a paper if they've completed some sort of proof of learning beforehand. We conference and then we set up a time to redo that performance assessment with an opportunity to receive full credit. The last best practice that I am really working towards inside of my other class that I teach is all about applying knowledge. So best practice number 18 talks about how learners should be given opportunities to apply their knowledge in meaningful and practical ways. And in my Journalism 1 class this year, we do a lot of this. My goal is for students to feel more curious about the world when they leave my classroom than when they entered. So we do such things like watching 10 minutes of the news every day, and then we take weekly current events quizzes that are for competition and for prizes. We have been investigating different topics, both worldwide, nationwide, statewide, and then locally here at our school. Students are currently in that process of pursuing interviews and doing research and writing about investigative topics locally here at our school. And I really try to encourage research-based learning inside that particular class, in which that they are always ensuring that they are finding credible evidence for whatever topic or inquiry that they're trying to discover, and making sure that whatever claims that they're seeing in the news, that they're ensuring that those are true evidence-based neutral statements and that they know how to evaluate a source. So I really think these best practices are things that not only my curriculum lends themselves to, but things that I have tried to incorporate inside my classroom on a daily basis. Thank you.